Hi, James here. Right, now this video is mainly a tutorial, but it's also a little tiny bit of a review and also a little bit of a comparison. You'll see what I mean. Right, basically what this video is all about is I've been getting a lot of emails, people saying they want to buy a pair of decks but they can't afford some of the decks that are available right now. But they found this company that makes these turntables and they're quite cheap, but they don't know the company. Basically, I've never heard of it before. Would it be safe to buy from them? Well, I'm not going to answer that question directly in this video, but what I am going to do is basically give you a little insight into what I'm going to call cheaper brand of turntables. Because let's face it, there are companies out there that sell cheaper DJ equipment, there's some companies out there that sell really expensive equipment. But, you know, a lot of people automatically assume that just because it's cheaper, it's crap. But I'm going to show you something in this video that might make you think about that. So bear with me and let me just quickly move the camera. Right, now I've got a couple of turntables down here. There I have a Technics SL1210 Mark II. And there I have a prosound L64AA DDT. Now anyone who's a DJ who's interested will probably know what that one is, and they've probably heard of that one. You might not have ever heard of one of those, but let's just forget companies and names for a minute. Let's just call that one turntable A and that one turntable B. Okay, let's assume we know nothing about these turntables now. All we know is that that one is worth half the value of that one. Okay, now based on that, a lot of people would automatically think that that one is not as good as turntable B. So turntable A is not as good as turntable B because it's worth half the value. Well, let's look at that and let's see if there's anything to that. First of all, you'd automatically assume that because it's cheaper, it has less features. Okay, well, let's have a look at the features. Okay, they're both direct drive. They both have die-cast aluminium platters. They both have electronic brake, which is adjustable. And they both have adjustable pitch ranges. They both have got height adjustment tone arm. They've both got anti-skate. But that one also has pitch bend buttons on the actual pitch fader. It also has an automatic voltage selector, which means it will take anything from 100 to 250 volts automatically, whereas that one you have to switch. There's a little switch under the platter. This one also has a thing called deck sync, which means you can plug two of these things together with a special socket on the back, which I'll show you in a minute, and basically it will synchronise the pitches and the start and stop button. Also, that doubles up as a remote start as well, so you can use the foot switch to start and stop it. Not to mention also that that one has a factory setting of plus and minus 10 on the actual pitch fade, and also it comes with an LED target light. So you can see that deck A actually has a few more features than deck B. Okay, but because it's half the value, maybe the quality isn't very good. Maybe that one has a better build quality than deck A. Well, I can tell you now that I brought this deck in 2002, deck A, and it's been hired out, it's been on mobiles, it's been around friends' houses, it's been down community centres to do battles on, and it still looks the same as the day I got it out of the box. The Technics have had that one now for 5 years, I think, and bearing in mind that it was already 5 years old when I brought it. So that's nearly 10 years old, that deck, and that one is still working fine, everything still works on it. It looks just as good as the day I got it out of the box, and there's not a single scratch on it. So you can see there's no lack in quality in either of them. But that one is still half the price as that one. So let's have a look around the decks. Let's see if we can see a difference between them. Okay, so let's have a quick look around deck A. After all these years, it's still got a very smooth pitch fader. There's the two pitch bend buttons I was talking about. It's got very shiny platter still. I haven't cleaned this, bearing in mind. There's that little connector on the back I was talking about. That's remote start and deck sync as well. The tone arm still feels nice and positive and solid. It doesn't rattle or anything. So generally it's in very good condition. Also, it has a little thing on the back there to hold your spare cartridge, which I don't ever use because it falls out, and some very handy Japanese to English translation. Make sure 2-pin under platter should be fixed properly with motor to hole before power on, since motor has strong torque. Yeah, very good translation there. Anyway, so basically really good deck, and overall very good build quality. So let's have a look at deck B. Very smooth pitch fader yet again. Doesn't have the pitch bend buttons, but there you go, doesn't matter. Tone arm still nice and solid, doesn't rattle or wobble. Platter not as shiny, but then they never were when I first brought them anyway. And this one has a lot better translation on it. I'm not going to read it because there's a lot more writing on that one than the other one. And it has something drawn on the back there. Overall, generally, very good build quality and very solid. So then maybe we can assume that the components inside deck A are maybe slightly cheaper and therefore poorer quality. Well, look at it this way. I mean, at the end of the day, if it's lasted 7 years and it still works perfectly, the components inside can't be that bad. So it's starting to look now that price isn't really an issue here. It just turns out that that deck is just as good quality as that one. Just as good, it's just a bit cheaper. Now I am going to start using, I've got a pair of these, and I'm going to start using these more often to do mixes on YouTube, because I've been asked to do a few more drum and bass mixes on YouTube, and I'm going to start using these more often. So there you go. I hope this video has been a help. Now, one thing I'd like you to do, if you have ever or you do own a pair of those prosound turntables, then please leave a comment and let me know and give me your verdict, because the same shop I brought these from doesn't sell them anymore, and I haven't seen a pair for sale for ages, and I can't find anything on the internet about them. So, but they are really good turntables. So if you own a pair, or you know anyone who's got a pair, please let me know. I'd like to know if there's anyone out there who has actually got some of these decks. So, and again, if you've got any questions, leave comments and I'll put in the description the name of the turntables and everything you might need to know. So there you go. Hope it's been a help. Thank you for watching. Nice one.